What's one moment where you had that breakthrough idea that kind of took you to that next level of success in your journey? Welcome to Breakthrough. We are so excited to have our very, very special guest, Dan White, with us today. I am Cindy Ertman, founder and CEO of The Defining Difference. We're a coaching and training company committed to helping high-performance mortgage professionals master the power of intentional choice to really help you transform your business and your life to create more purpose, passion, and prosperity. So, Dan, I am so excited to have you here because, as you know, I'm one of your biggest fans. Dan and I have had an incredible pleasure of getting to know each other over the last 3 years. Dan joined a coaching program that I lead and quickly realized that he has some very special gifts. So I wanted to have him featured here on Breakthrough Moments, where we're interviewing key mortgage professionals about where were their breakthrough moments. And certainly, Dan, we know there's more than one that happened along the way of our career, but we really want to identify that one thing that sort of takes you from maybe that mid-tier producer into more that top-tier success. And I know, because I know you personally, there's many different moments in just the last few years that I've known you that come to my mind as well. But before we get started with that, tell us a little bit about your journey of the mortgage industry.
Well, I started in 1995. So before we were using the crinkly fax paper. So way back then. And the training program was my friend yelling across the hall to me what to say to clients on the phone. So it was a while ago. And so I watched a big run up in subprime, obviously, and then the crash. Lived through that. That was really a lot of fun. I did a lot of different things, ran a huge company, had 120 people under me at one point. So there was just a lot going on. The crash was really difficult to get through. But once I got through that and started to originate again, I kind of got out of management and decided to do the fun part of the job in my mind again. And so I really got into more the origination field, but I never really kind of hit my stride until you and I connected through some friends or actually, I'm sorry, it was through the company we were with, and basically you sent out something to the company, and I decided to call you, and I'm sure you remember we had a conversation for about 45 minutes. And I decided to do some lead gen stuff for 6 months. And when that didn't work after 6 months, you happened to call me again. And I said, yeah, I'm in with the coaching program. So, and that was really probably those two conversations were big moments for me. But there's another that I'll tell you about here in a few. So that's kind of my journey. I've just really been mainly a loan officer, done a lot of sales management. Nothing really in operations too much, but I've run some big companies, and I'm with a great company now that I absolutely love. So
You've recently become a sales manager for your current company, correctly?
For the branch.
A very large branch there in Phoenix, Arizona. That's super exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm really having fun with some of the things, and I learned some things that I wasn't doing the best job at as a sales manager. And it's really great to kind of have this group of professionals with Mortgage Mastermind that I can kind of call on. And I always get ideas from any time we're on a call because you've got people that are just the top in their profession. And it's really a lot of insight as to how you can bring more value to the people in your branch.
That's so great, Dan. Well, congratulations. I'm very excited for you and very excited for them too, because I know what you're capable of. So talk to us a little bit about that one thing or that one moment that something shifted in your career. Talk to us a little about whether it was something you did or you had this magical epiphany, but what's one moment where you had that breakthrough idea that kind of took you to that next level of success in your journey?
Well, it was really the first retreat that we were at. And so the first Mortgage Mastermind retreat, for those people that don't know the format, we go to your house for a weekend. And the first retreat, I was probably the lowest producer in the room. yet everyone there was welcoming and we seemed to get along great. And I was just at that point in time, was just a little burnout and I was looking for a jump start. And so what happened was during that retreat, there's an exercise called hot seats. And I'll remember this like for as long as I live. Everyone told me I had to dissolve a partnership that I had for 5 years with a wonderful loan officer who I love, but it just wasn't functional. And that person had seen me through a lot of difficult times, and she was fantastic. Still is. She's wonderful. But it just wasn't working. And there were 2 or 3 people that said, you got to stop the partnership. And it dawned on me, I had been having this thought for a while. So, I decided, okay, I'm going to cut. It was really there just to be a safety net for me.
Right.
And so I just decided, okay, I'm here. I paid for the advice. I'm not going to not follow it. So come Monday after the retreat, I did exactly that. And when that happened, basically the support from the group was there and my numbers took off. It wasn't her fault at all. It was just something that I needed to go off in my own direction. And so everyone kind of saw that. And since then, my production has doubled a couple of times. So so that was really probably the biggest kind of breakthrough moment that I actually took a lot of courage to do that. And she's done very well herself. So it really worked out for the best. And sometimes it was just having people see the outside and from the outside and say,
Right.
here's what we see is really, it's just a tremendous thing that you go through, and especially people that you respect because you look at their numbers, but moreover, you get to know them as people.
Right.
And so you get to know what kind of people they are, and you're pretty good about handpicking people that are right for the group. So it was just something that was just a huge breakthrough moment. And since that point, I've brought a team on, which was always something that I was hesitant to do, but I decided to first invest in myself, get my education and my knowledge of industry tools and things really up to speed where it wasn't. And that also came out in the mastermind. And then just start investing in a team and growing my business. And it's just worked. So.
Well, I'll never forget that moment too, Dan, because, there was sort of like the revelation in the room. Everyone was sort of in agreement that that was the logical next step. But look, those decisions are tough. And sometimes there's decisions that we know we need to make, and they've been kind of in our little, we're carrying them around, that little white noise. But sometimes those decisions are very difficult to make on your own. And so I always say one of the things that coaching does is probably help people make bolder choices, because if you've got some support around you and some people cheering you on and you've got some validation that it may be the next right thing, people make more difficult choices. And when I look at just the intention of which you have led your business over the last few years and watching you build a team, take advice, implement, because that's really what it's all about. You can teach tactics and all that, but unless people truly choose to put it into action. So to watch you go from 6-7 loans a month to doing 20, 25 plus loans a month consistently and build this incredible team. You do have one of the most amazing teams, which I give you such credit, because you not only grew as a loan originator, Dan, but you really grew as a very inspirational leader. And it's clear when I talk to members of your team, because you have a very cohesive team, which makes the business so much more fun and you create so much more momentum, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's the one thing. I hired 2 younger people and they really bring the energy up and they're just fun. And me, I'm young at heart. I like to have fun, and if the business is drudgery, which it was for a few years, I think we all went through it. It just kind of takes the wind out of your sails. So if you get a good team, and it is an investment, and what I realized about myself is I was always planning for the worst, because you go through those times and then you kind of get your mindset focused on what could go wrong instead of how to do it the right way. And I think that was another benefit, big benefit of the coaching was, hey, how do we do this the right way? You can do it. Just be confident in yourself and quit second guessing and just move forward. And so that's what we did. And we're still growing and our volume is still growing. And even though things are starting to hedge off a little bit, our applications and everything are up. So,
That's
it's
great.
And it's because we've invested in the team. We invest a lot into education. We go spend time together. We enjoy each other's company. And I feel like the more you do that and the more you invest in people, and we've had this conversation a number of times, and you just go have fun, the more they've got your back, and they feel your pain and they understand what you're doing. And I want them all to succeed. I'm at the point in my career where I don't know if I can answer phone calls on Saturdays and Sundays every week going forward. So I'm putting them in the position. I haven't had a team for that long, so I'm putting them in the position to try to empower them, to make them and give them a growth cycle, because I think it's just really critical. So.
No, it just makes it feels so good to invest in other people and bring them alongside, because it's such a great opportunity, right? And to have them part of something, because what you do is really meaningful work in the world. I mean, helping people achieve their dream of home ownership is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you another question, because I happen to be with you doing another moment that I will never forget. And so not everyone is clear on their why. Why do we do what we do, right? But there is something that happened at one of our retreats, Dan, when we asked you what your why was, and you very bravely raised your hand to be a volunteer with no scripting, but you really very clearly expressed why you do what you do. And so tell us a little bit about what your why is and getting clarity on that, how that's really helped you in your business and your life.
Sure. So this again comes from the first retreat. My friend and now coach, Stacia Weishar, brought up Simon Sinek's book, and I'd never read it. And so she was talking a lot about that during the retreat. So after the retreat, I went home and read it. But I was always struggling with, well, what is it? Why the heck am I doing this? And then my wife came to me and said, we were just looking on Zillow or something online. And she said, my uncle always had a second home, and we never had any money when we were raising our kids, and we would go there occasionally, and that meant the world to me. And I would love to do something like that for my kids and your kids and our family. And I said, well, where do you want to do it? And so we were thinking immediately, being from Phoenix, I think everyone in Phoenix thinks San Diego. So we went down there. But my wife and I, when we started dating, she took me to Laguna Beach. And so we couldn't find anything in San Diego. We went all up and down the coast. We couldn't find anything. And we were just touring on our own. I didn't want to spend a realtor's time. But one day I'm like, let's just look in Laguna, see what we can find. And it was kind of crazy. We just set up a quick appointment with a realtor there that you had referred me, and we went and saw a place, and it was perfect, and it was actually less expensive. We just hit a dip in that market just briefly, and so I'm like, it's still too high. Let's go home, and I won't even think about it. And then 30 days later, they dropped the price to exactly what I was willing to pay. So the thing that happened at the retreat was I said, look, I want to do this for my wife and my family. And the reason my why came to the forefront, it was really about family for me. And everybody says family. But one thing that was really important in my life growing up is I was the youngest of 7, and my folks never made a lot of money, but they had this great house in Dayton, Ohio, They put a pool in the backyard, and for years, everyone would meet there over July 4th and go there for reunions. And houses, it just came to me that houses and dwellings matter. Places where your family can count on you being for years at a time matter. It becomes a gathering place. It creates memories. It has a huge impact on people's lives. And we do that as a profession. And I'm quite sure that's why I do what I do. But it's also kind of my goal to create that memory and that space for my family. And so with intentionality, which is something you talk about all the time, it is gold, right? The more you can be intentional, the more you can achieve those dreams. That was in a retreat in May that I put that out there to the world, basically, that's my why. And I want to do this for my wife, who has just meant so much to me in my life. And by October, we closed on a condo in Laguna Beach, and every July 4th, we now go to Laguna to celebrate with our family. So it's a really, really strong why. And that intentionality. And what was interesting is the day I closed happened to be the day of an MME retreat. So I was in Laguna, and I drove up to Manhattan Beach and met you and everyone else at the retreat. And I had just gotten the keys that day. So that was it was a pretty incredible moment. So my why is really both my career and my personal life kind of are intertwined that way, which I think is kind of interesting. So I just believe that homes matter, and creating a safe, just memorable place for your family is just crucial. So that's why I do what I do.
That little video that you did down, I cry every time I watch it, but it's just so heartfelt. And I love that you got that clarity about your why, and that there is something about, as we talk about, is not only talking about our goals, putting energy behind our goals, really putting action behind our goals, and you going out and looking at property all up and down Southern California and really trying to draw in what it was that you wanted to create for you and your family and grandchildren, which you didn't even have grandchildren at the time, and now you do. But the beautiful thing was that intentionality. I think at the beginning you'd set like a 5-year plan for this to happen, and 9 months later it had come to fruition.
Yeah, not even 6 months, really.
Really. And so it was just so exciting to watch you bring that forth in your life, and to see you now enjoying the fruits of your labor, because you work so hard. It's really wonderful to be able to have a place, like you say, that you can create such great memories with family. And as you know, the reason I lead my retreats here is because it's a warm environment to learn in.
Yeah, and it's a great environment to learn in, and
right, energy, it's all energy. So that's why the relationships we develop in the mortgage business are so key. I love that story, so thank you for sharing that, Dan.
Sure. Yeah.
And then lastly, you've already kind of expressed this, but being that you were part of Mortgage Mastermind Elite and such a valuable member of that program, just tell us a little bit about what that has done in terms of making an impact on your business and your life, and whether or not it's something you recommend to another mortgage professional.
I think it's bannered about a lot that you're part of a community, and oftentimes that's just painted with a broad brush. But with MME, we got so close with our group. There was a lot of personal things that were shared. And we're expected to be in our industry, and as loan officers dealing with referral partners and clients, we're expected to be on so much of the time and never make mistakes. And that creates an incredible amount of pressure. And yet there are these wonderful people in our group who came there doing 30, 40 loans a month, who were humble. They were just really fantastic people, every one of them. And we all got so close and shared so many stories of how, what we were doing in our lives and in our businesses that there was such a strong personal connection that I could still call any of them today, and that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, maybe four. And that's, I still talk to them. We're still coaching with two of them. I would not have traded, would not have traded that experience for the world. That is the best coaching experience with the retreats. I'm so glad you can do them live again.
Me too.
So it just was fantastic. One of the people that was there was Jeff Ohm, who is a competitor in town and a darn good one at that. He's really strong. And we've gotten to be good friends. So, it's something, it's just an environment. We share things we do. You share tactics from your amazing career. And we meet people like Renee Rodriguez comes by. Dave Savage has been at our meetings, just the top of the class as far as experts in the field. There's just so much value packed in there, and it continues on with the reunion retreats and so forth. So to put my finger on one thing would just be impossible. There's camaraderie, there's tactics, there's information, there's experts. It's the whole, how I feel about it. It's the whole.
Thank you, Dan. That means the world. And one of the things I love about it so much is just, it's very relationship based. And because the higher you go up the mortgage ladder, I think it's true in any sales job, but the higher you go, kind of the lonelier it gets, right? And, you're not always surrounded by like-minded people that are out learning to be the best of the best. And so, it's not just learning from Cindy Ertman, but it is learning from everybody in the group, because everybody has unique skill sets. And when everybody just drops the guard and lets the ego, go, they can just be the best version of themselves. And that's one of the greatest things. It really is the power of the collective spirit that creates the magic in the group. We just had our first retreat in almost a year and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it was so fun for that group. It's been together for a year and finally got to meet live, and the magic that was created at the end of those 2 days. They will also be friends for a lifetime. So it's been so fun, not only to have you part of that group, but you will be a friend for a lifetime, Dan White.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly came from you saying yes to investing in yourself, and has been certainly a great gift for us and for the company. So thank you for all that you do to share and pour into all the other members. It's just really incredible. So I want to thank you, Dan, for sharing a little bit of your story, because I know we could talk for hours and I could drill down. There's so many great things that you do. So you'll definitely be back again. We'd love to have you as another guest. And certainly it's fun to have you as a guest on my training groups, because you've got so much to share, and you've just been so intentional about your business and your team, and watching your elevation and your growth, both from a production perspective and a leadership perspective, and to see you get your fun and your joy and your passion back for the business, and to see that momentum, which that's kind of one of the keys, right? Is to really feel fulfilled in, what we do every day for a living. So congratulations to your success. It's just been really fun to watch your journey.
Thank you. I just feel like the group and you personally have been a big part of that. And I am very grateful for all of that. And there's just so many things that really have come through with it to just really improve my life. And so I'm not painting with broad strokes here. These are real things that I think you really bring to the table. And, I've referred a friend in my office here to you for the MME next group. And I would literally refer anyone who wants to do for not just for their business, but for themselves. That's the point. There's a lot of coaching that teaches tactics and tactics only, and they beat you over the head until you do their tactics. But that wasn't where I was at. And that's not where most of the people I know in the business are at. They're really at a point where they need someone to bring out the best in them, in their style, versus your tactics. And that's something I appreciate. So sorry to go on, but
well, thanks so much. We've so appreciated having you. And for those of you that are listening to this breakthrough interview series, if you've had a breakthrough moment in your career, we would love to hear from you. We would love to have you email us at info@cindyertman.com, because we really want to hear your story about maybe some other breakthrough moments that have elevated you from that mid-tier success to that top producer level. I mean, everybody has their one thing, right? And we can remember those moments that really took us to that next level of success. And we would love to share that with you as well. If you'd like to get information regarding our coaching program, you can visit cindyertman.com or email us at info@cindyertman.com to set up your complimentary strategy call. We love just pouring into you and helping you get clear on that vision and maybe some gaps that you have in your business, so we can help you fill the gap, help you fill your bucket, and help you take it to the next level. So thanks so much, Dan, for joining us.
Sure.
And thanks for joining us for Breakthrough Moments. We look forward to seeing you soon.